we now know the details of the contract that man, LeBron James Jr., known as Bronny, signed. It's a 4-year deal, total value of $7.9 million. There is a team option on that 4th year. Now, this is, I'll say, non-traditional for a 55th pick in the draft. What do you make of this deal they signed Bronny to?
Look, it's hopefully this will wrap up the Bronny conversation until he embarrasses himself in the summer league, and then we can have that conversation.
This Saturday.
It starts Saturday. Yep. Great.
Really?
It gives me something to have fun on with a couple edibles. Look, here's the deal. He's different. Period. Stop. He's treated differently. He's looked at differently, and that's why he's in the NBA. That's why they drafted him. We all know the storyline behind it. But, there are other kids out there. And the thing that I guess bothers me the most, I don't begrudge him making money. Good for him. Great. Make money. It's not a significant amount of money in NBA world. The average person, obviously, it is a lot of money. But it's not warranted. And that's the thing I can't figure out. All right, so they draft him. You can make the argument most second-round draft picks aren't really going to become NBA stars or even make it on a roster year one. It's a project because that's how hard it is to be in the NBA. So they do LeBron a favor. They draft this kid all well and good. But most of those kids, specifically at 55, but throughout the second round, are guys that do get two-way contracts, don't have guaranteed money in it, and are really on a situation where they can go prove themselves as NBA players. Just to give you a factual reference, you look at from 2019 through this year, and we did it apples to apples. Every kid drafted at 55. You start them at the bottom there. Two-way contract, two-way contract, two-way contract, no contract, two-way contract. And then there's Bronny James, who not only gets a contract, gets a 4-year contract at essentially $2 million a year. So for all you LeBron people who are upset at my type of people who are against this whole situation, this is why we're against it. Because that contract doesn't make sense. It also wasn't warranted. It also wasn't needed. He got drafted. That alone gives him the chance to become an NBA player. Why are we now rubbing salt in the wound of every other second-round draft pick who is not going to get guaranteed money like Bronny James did?
Craig, you want to know something?
Talk to me.
The Lakers' second-round draft pick last year
got
this same contract.
Yeah? What was his name?
I don't remember.
There you go. That's the point, though.
But he got the same contract. The second-round draft pick of the Lakers last year.
Well, we're going to research that to make sure that that's factual. But look, there's some kids who've got a couple bucks.
Yeah.
There was a second-round pick who got $500,000, whatever it was. But this is why people are so offended by it, or why it rankles people. Because we know he's not an NBA talent today. Look, I give the kid credit. If you go to the lab and bust your ass and get stronger and faster and work on your jump shot and your defense, you can develop into an NBA player possibly. I'm not suggesting that can never happen. But we all know today he's not an NBA talent. He should not have been drafted on merit. Now, we know why he got drafted. We understand the machinations of how Bronny James became an LA Laker. I'm trying to figure out when the brown-nosing stops. When do we allow the Lakers to be an NBA franchise trying to win its 18th championship and stop making this about, is LeBron okay? Does LeBron want to come back? Will LeBron grace us with his presence? Because that's what this has become. It's become a clown show.
I mean, looking forward, I mean, you can say offensively with him being in college and averaging 4 points, you could say that, we all can. Why this contract? What's the justification for it? But apparently he must be a defensive maestro, is what they're saying. Is he a Patrick Beverly type player from a comparison
That's
standpoint?
offensive to Pat Beverly.
Yeah, we don't know. But, I'm going to ask you a question. Are the NBA, as far as being a 55th pick, are the contracts slotted?
No.
No, they're not.
Not slotted.
They're not. They could have given him $100 million.
So a team can give any player
Yes.
any amount of money that they want.
Yes.
And they choose not to because 55th picks don't generally pan out. When you look at those lists of the last 5 picks, I'm pretty sure Aaron Wiggins is the only one who's still in the league. He's certainly the only one getting getting playing time. I've never heard of Geese.
And by the way, the kid that they did take in the second round last year is a kid named Mojave King. He's currently playing.
I'm not familiar with Mr.
in New
King's
Zealand.
work. I'm not familiar with Mojave King.
I was getting the contract.
We're checking right now.
I was going to say, got the contract.
You said New Zealand. I was giving it
I was trying to think. I was thinking
Saturn.
He got the contract.
His rights were traded to the Pacers, I'm being told right now.
Yeah.
And by the way, since I'm talking to a mysterious voice upstairs, what was Mojave King's contract when he got drafted? They're checking that now for me. I'll give you an answer.
Well,
by the way, if it's not $8 million, thumb war. I'm telling you right now.
There's another report about Bronny which I found interesting, and it is that he will debut with the Lakers, the Los Angeles
Summer
Lakers.
League.
Yes.
Okay.
But it is expected for him to spend a lot of time in the G League with the South Bay Lakers. Do you think that he'll spend more time playing for the Lakers or the South Bay Lakers?
That's interesting. So we all know, as you said, he's going to play in Vegas in the Summer League.
Yep.
Have they verbalized a commitment to play G League basketball?
No, you can play, when you sign a deal like this, they can play wherever you want. You can play for the Lakers or the South Bay Lakers.
Yeah, I would be surprised, only because of the way this is going thus far, if Bronny James plays a single day in the G League. I'd be surprised.
No, this is how I think it's going to play out. I think he's going to debut with the Lakers for Game 1, Game 2, Game 3. They're going to have the moment at home when he checks into the game during a free throw that LeBron's not shooting. They're going to hug at half court. They're going to be a pass together. And then once that sort of gets out of our system, I think he's going to spend most of the year in the G League. That's where he belongs.
By the way, he belongs in college for sure.
Sure.
And there's a lot of colleges he couldn't play for. One of them is USC, obviously. But here's the thing. You might be dead on right, so I'm not arguing the point you're making, because that's what should happen, right? But the caveat to that and the wild card to that is, what does LeBron want? Because clearly LeBron is making all these decisions. The Lakers have already ceded control of the franchise to LeBron James, and that can no longer be argued, right? So if LeBron James goes to Jeannie Buss and Jay Moore, her husband now, great comedian, by the way, and goes to Rob Pelinka and says, look, my kid ain't playing in the G League. That's not what this is about. This is about, I want to play NBA basketball with my son. I want him on the team bus. I want him on the team charter. I want him to experience an NBA life with me before I'm not playing anymore. Now, most dads who have a job that allows them to go on the road don't want any relatives within 500 miles.
I know what you're talking about, Craig. I know what you're talking about, Craig.
I can just say that as a fact, okay? That being said, it doesn't, like, everything that should happen has already been thrown out the window, right? You know, the bathwater went and the baby went with it. So now it comes down to, what does LeBron want? Is LeBron, as a dad and a great player, is his goal for Bronny James to get to a place where he can be a productive NBA player, and then that's part of LeBron's legacy, that he raised a child who was good enough to make it and excel at some level in the NBA? Or is the goal, which I would respect as a dad, is the goal, I just want the experience of having my son with me throughout an NBA season as a teammate? And that's the LeBron call.
I mean, I think over time he will have some relevancy in the NBA under tutelage from his father, and him being around the game, since he's been born. But I'm gonna ask you a question: if he goes out in this summer league and he doesn't get off to a good start and he's not playing well, do they take him out the summer league?
No, summer league's short. The whole point is to develop.
I just don't see him going out
they
playing in the summer league.
Yeah.
He's not playing well. He's averaging 2 or 3 points, and they make a decision. Say, you know what? We're going to put him back in the lab or whatever the case.
Here's what I think would happen, Blacks.
Those are a lot of questions that they're not going to want to answer right away. Now.
All right, so let's play that because it's a good storyline here. If he goes to summer league and is embarrassing himself, a couple games in, and he's clearly being, someone's got it. Every guy he plays against clamps him, and he cannot play, right? You're going to hear about a mysterious illness, a tweaked hamstring. His knee is sore. Yeah. They are clearly going to baby him and not allow him to fall on his face. Now, there may be some benefit to that. I think as a dad, You want your kid to fail sometimes to build him back up, to teach him how to overcome failure. I know that's a soapbox hallmark moment, but we can't coddle him for his entire life. He at some point has to go out there without being LeBron's kid and show that he can play on merit. That's what this is, because every other kid in this summer league is this close to the NBA. And if I'm one of those kids and I'm a guard, I'm begging the coach to take on Bronny James. That's the guy I want. Because if I take him off the dribble and score, if I clamp him on defense and embarrass him, I make a name for myself, and it gets me one step closer to an NBA roster.
Him individually, he's going to be playing against a different type of intensity.
Yep.
Every possession. He's not going to be treated the same. Guys going to try to expose him, and that's just something he's going to have to get used to mentally and physically.
By the way, we've done the research. I mean, you are something special.
He's a Michigan guy,
You're trying to bamboozle me. There ain't no $8 million contract in the history of the Lakers organization. They have never given a second-round draft pick $8 million.
All I'm saying is I watched First Things First yesterday, and that's what I heard.
Someone lied to you.
Michigan guy.
There's one thing interesting about this which should be recognized is they both, the G League team and the Lakers practice at the same place.
Okay.
And they're very close to each other, so they can have that sort of father-son bonding. They can work together. Because I personally don't think that he's an NBA talent this year. The right thing for him to do is develop in the G League. That's the right thing to do. And LeBron sort of pressed him to draft him. They pressed him to get the contract. But to press him to keep him on the team if he doesn't belong there would be a lot.
Well, I can tell you that when I used to do a show that was simulcast on the Madison Square Garden Network, I got to go to the facility where the Knicks practice. The Knicks used to share a facility with the Liberty. It didn't make the Liberty any better.
What is a good summer league for Bronny James?
8 points a game.
What if he doesn't get 8 points, but he gets 4 steals a game?
Not gonna happen.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you this. Well, when I came into this league as a rookie, I played 2 years of college football.
Okay.
I had another 2 years of eligibility, and I was so like I wanted to get to the NFL so quickly that I never even thought about myself going to the next level, not playing well and not having success, because I was always, so much better than everybody growing up. But when I got there, I wasn't ready to play, and I knew it.
Because the talent.
Yeah, when I got out there, I was like, my rookie year would have been my junior year in college.
Right.
I was like 20 years old.
You were a kid.
And when I got on that football field, it was some grown men on that football field, and I was going back to the huddle questioning myself, should I have stayed in college? Because that's how good the talent was.
Is that why you spiked the ball without being tackled?
No. You won't listen to the story. If we pull it up, I was upset because my mom was at the game. I was way down in Jacksonville. I catch a nice 16-yard dig route. I got a blocker out in front of me, and I'm about to step on the X button and go out the back door for a 60-yard touchdown.
Yep.
And, it wasn't the best thrown ball by Cordell Stewart.
It's your mom's fault. It's Cordell's fault.
I ended up catching the ball and falling down.
Now.
Sometimes it's the quarterback's fault sometimes too.
That's right.
They always say that, the quarterback's never wrong. Not in my book.
Now, I should be clear, for a guy that had an all-world career as one of the 100 greatest New York Giants of all time, has a Super Bowl winning catch against the New England Patriots, your point's a good one, because your rookie year, you only had 22 catches.
It was tough, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really. I was playing against guys who were faster than me. So some guys that were same size as me, bigger. But from an athletic standpoint, when I got there, I say, this is why everybody in this league is playing in this league, because they deserve to be.
So what did you do that offseason? Because your second year, you had over 60 catches and 1,000 yards.
I had to get better.
Well, getting better was what? Lifting weights?
I had to get stronger.
You gotta get stronger.
I had to get faster. I went back and looked at myself on tape, on film, like, how can I get an advantage? I know I'm better. I know I'm a better athlete than some of these guys, but how can a guy who is not as athletic as me, more athletic than me, cover me?
Right.
And those are some of the things that I struggle with because I was always wide open in college. And you get to the next level, it's not the same.
Like, how come I'm not open?
Right. It's a different level.
Hey there, thank you so much for watching The Carton Show. You can subscribe right here to get all the latest bits and segments from the show. And by the way, while you're at it, we have a lot of great shows on FS1, so check them out too.